The desolate alley stretched before her, a narrow, dimly lit path between the crumbling remnants of buildings that once stood tall and proud. Now, they were little more than skeletal husks, covered in grime and dirt, abandoned to the harsh elements. The girl, barely 8 years old, stood in the center of the alley, clutching a handful of broken toys. She had no idea how she had gotten here, no memory of how long it had been since she had last eaten, or how long it had been since she had last seen a friendly face. She was alone in a world that had forgotten her. Her name was Mira, and she was not like the others. She wasn't from this world. No, Mira had come from far beyond the stars. She was a human girl, living in a city that was being overrun by alien invaders. This world, once teeming with life and opportunity, was now a battleground. The invaders, strange beings with glowing skin and sharp, alien features, had taken over and driven the human population to the brink of extinction. Her mother, once a doctor who had saved countless lives, had been one of the last to fight for her people. But now she was dying. The medicine she needed was too expensive, and Mira had nothing to give in exchange. She didn't know where else to turn. The toys in her hands, her only possessions, were all she had left to offer. As she stood in the alley, a wave of hopelessness washed over her. She looked at her toys, dirty, old, and broken. Her stuffed bear, its fur matted and torn, a doll whose arm had fallen off, a small rusted spaceship that had seen better days. These were the only things that had ever belonged to her, and now she was willing to give them up to save her mother. "Please," Mira whispered, her voice barely audible over the wind. "Take my toys, alien. I need money for my mother's medicine. Please help me." Her voice cracked as she spoke the words. She didn't know what to expect, but she had to try. Suddenly the wind stopped. The air grew still, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Mira stiffened. She had sensed something, a presence, lurking nearby. The hairs on the back of her neck stood up. She wasn't alone. She wasn't sure who or what it was, but she felt their gaze. The alien appeared from the shadows. It was tall, towering over Mira by at least 2 feet, with glowing violet skin that shimmered in the dim light. Its face was angular, with sharp, pointed features that looked both beautiful and terrifying. Its eyes were like pools of liquid gold glowing softly with an otherworldly light. The creature was dressed in strange armor that reflected the remnants of the city behind it, as if it were a part of the very landscape. Mira's heart raced as she took a small step back, her hands clutching the toys to her chest. The alien tilted its head slightly, its golden eyes narrowing as it regarded her. "You wish for money." The alien's voice was deep, its tone almost musical, yet filled with a strange authority. It didn't speak like any human she had ever met, but Mira understood the words nonetheless. "But you have nothing to offer. These toys? They are worthless." Mira flinched at the alien's words. She had nothing. Nothing but her broken toys and her dying mother. She couldn't afford to lose this opportunity. "Please," she begged again, her voice shaky. "I need money for my mother's medicine. I'll give you everything. Please, just save her." The alien regarded her for a moment longer, its gaze unreadable. Then it stepped closer, its long fingers reaching down toward her toys. Mira flinched again, her heart pounding in her chest. "You are desperate," the alien said softly. "But desperation is not a currency. You seek to save someone, but what are you willing to give in return? What is your price?" Mira's breath caught in her throat. She didn't know what the alien wanted, but she knew she had no choice. Her mother was dying, and she had nothing left to lose. "I'll give you everything," she whispered, her eyes filled with determination. "I'll give you my life if you save her. I'll give you anything you want, please." The alien's eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment it seemed to consider her words. Then, with a slow, deliberate motion, it reached out and placed a hand on Mira's forehead. She shuddered as a strange warmth spread through her body, and for a brief moment she felt a surge of energy course through her veins. "Your soul," the alien said, its voice low and cryptic. "That is what you offer. In exchange, I will give you what you seek." Mira's heart skipped a beat. Her soul? What did that mean? Was she making a deal with this alien? Was it asking for something more than she could give? But she didn't have time to question it. Her mother needed her. The alien could save her. She had no choice. "I accept," she said, her voice barely a whisper. The alien nodded, its glowing eyes shining brightly as it released her from its grip. Mira could feel something inside her change, an emptiness, a void left where her resolve had once been. But she couldn't think about that now. She could only focus on her mother. The alien reached into its cloak and pulled out a small, glowing orb. It held it in front of her, the light pulsing gently. "Take this," the alien said. "It will give you what you need." Mira reached out with trembling hands and took the orb. The moment her fingers touched it, she felt a strange surge of power flood her senses. She could feel the energy coursing through her, the warmth of it filling her chest. It was as if the orb contained the very essence of life itself. "Go now," the alien said, its voice softer now. "Your mother's time is not yet over. Save her and return to me. Remember the price you have paid." With that, the alien turned and disappeared into the shadows as silently as it had arrived, leaving Mira standing alone in the alley, the orb glowing softly in her hands. Part 2. A Fragile. Hope Mira ran as fast as she could, her heart pounding with both fear and hope. She clutched the glowing orb tightly, knowing it held the key to saving her mother. She didn't dare stop to question the alien's words, to wonder about the price she had paid. There was only one thing that mattered now, getting the medicine to her mother before it was too late. She reached their small, run-down apartment building, barely taking a moment to catch her breath before running inside. The air was thick with dust, the walls creaking under the weight of the world outside. Her mother lay in bed, pale and weak, her breathing shallow. Mira rushed to her side, holding the orb above her mother's chest. The light from the orb spread out, filling the room with a soft, ethereal glow. Mira watched in awe as her mother's color slowly began to return. Her breathing steadied, and the faintest hint of a smile appeared on her lips. For a moment, Mira thought she was dreaming. But then her mother's eyes fluttered open, and she looked at Mira with confusion and relief. "Mira?" her mother whispered, her voice barely audible. "What's happening? What did you—" Mira smiled through her tears, holding the orb tightly in her hands. "You're going to be okay, Mom," she whispered. "You're going to be okay." But as her mother drifted back into sleep, a cold realization settled in Mira's chest. She had given the alien something important. And though her mother had been saved, she knew the alien's price would be waiting for her to pay. Part 3. The price days passed, and her mother's health improved. She was no longer bedridden, no longer weak, but Mira could feel the weight of the bargains she had made hanging over her. The alien had taken something from her soul, her innocence, her future. She didn't know how, but she knew the price would come for her. It was just a matter of time. And then, one evening, as the sun set and darkness fell across the city, the alien returned. It appeared before Mira in her bedroom, silent and imposing. "You have kept your end of the bargain," the alien said, its voice smooth, almost congratulatory. "But now it is time for you to fulfill yours." Mira's heart sank. She had known this moment was coming. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice trembling. The alien stepped forward, its glowing eyes locking onto hers. "Your soul was taken, Mira, and now it is time for you to come with me. Your debt is due,